I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Jarvis Butts is talking. He ain't going out without a fight. Salute to the chat. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to my moderators. Let me read this copyright disclaimer, and then we're going to jump into this demonstration. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Give me a minute and I will entertain the chat. Now, what's this, November? So his court dates for his charges, including Naziah and the other SA charges, is in February the 23rd, 2026. So we're looking at December, January, February. We're looking at 3 months. Now, I've said this from the beginning pretty much. I said that Jarvis is going to hold out until he can't hold out no more. He's a convict. This ain't his first rodeo. And convicts, they know how the system works. They know how this thing works. You know, if this not your first rodeo, like Jarvis, you gonna hold out. You gonna keep your mouth shut. We saw what Jarvis was doing. In every court appearance, Jarvis always had his mouth shut. He didn't say nothing. He was always taking notes. But, you always hold out until the last minute just to see what they got on you. And if we see what they got on Jarvis and what they don't got on Jarvis, then you can best believe that he sees what they got on him and he sees what they don't got on him. I know it was like people was always saying to the content creators, stop helping Jarvis defense team. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something about this whole case. Jarvis is quarterbacking his side of things. Ain't nothing that we can come up with. Ain't nothing that Shankrock can come up with that Jarvis don't already know. I'm going to tell y'all why. For the main reason, Jarvis knows everything about the case. Shankrock don't know everything about the case. None of the content creators know everything about the case. So it's nothing that us content creators can say that's going to help Jarvis defense team. Jarvis is in complete control of this. We're going to go deep into this, y'all. We're going to go deep into this. Appreciate this super sticker, Evelyn. And I know many people get mad at us, when we speak like this about the case, because many people feel as though Jarvis is guilty, nothing else matters, and because Jarvis S.A. Naziah and the other children, then he had to unalive Naziah. So not all that stuff that y'all talking Shankrock, we don't want to hear. We just want Jarvis to be tried, convicted, and sent to prison for the rest of his life. I wish it was that easy. I wish it was that easy. Because just like you got a whole lot of people on this side that think like that and feel that way, you got a lot of people on the other side that will tell you, I don't believe Jarvis unalived Naziah. I believe that Jarvis S.A.'d Naziah, but I don't believe Jarvis unalived Naziah. The evidence, we went over the evidence over and over and over again. There are new content creators. There are new subscribers and followers that have picked up the Naziah Harris case. They don't even feel as though Jarvis red rum Naziah. Now you got the old timers that's been covering the case from the beginning that felt like Jarvis didn't red rum Naziah. You got those that came halfway through that feel like Jarvis didn't unalive Nazaya. Now you got the new content creators and the new subscribers that feel the same way. Right? Now, I can only tell y'all what I know, and I can only tell y'all what comes through my desk. All right? Word in the jail is that Jarvis is talking, and Jarvis is not going down without a fight. Jarvis, because see, now we're going to get into the mind of a criminal. We're going to get into a mind of a convict that is facing what Jarvis is facing, right? Now, if he's guilty, like in the case with baby Emmanuel Harrow, the father, Jake, do y'all see how quick Jake took that plea agreement? You know why he jumped on that plea agreement? Because Jake Harrow knows that he's guilty. And he knows that he can't get out of this. Now we looking and we getting into the mind of a convict, of a criminal. Okay. Jarvis had ample amount of time to enter a plea. Let me backtrack. He had an ample amount of time to take a plea agreement. Okay. A plea agreement. All right. I'm willing to confess to the red rum charge. I'm willing to confess and tell y'all where her body is at. But what kind of deal will I get out of it? You know, that's when the negotiation part comes into play. Jarvis never done that. He never done that. He never copped the plea. He ain't looking for a plea. Now, if he was guilty of that red rum, you can best believe Jarvis would have copped the plea. Jarvis wouldn't have took it to trial because he knows what's going to happen when he take this to trial. When he take this to trial, and if he's found guilty of that red rum, Jarvis going away. They're going to hit Jarvis with the maximum penalty. They're going to get Jarvis life. So why take that chance? When you know they got me, I did it. So let me go ahead and cop out. Something that Jarvis knows. And this is where we're going to go down the rabbit hole at. We're going to go down the rabbit hole. And I do see y'all in the chat. I'm going to come to the chat. Something that Jarvis is holding on to. And it's something that we all know what he's holding on to. Even those that feel like Jarvis, Red Rum, Nazaya, even they feel the same way. And I'm going to tell y'all when I come back, I'm going to take a commercial, but I'm going to come back, y'all. And I'm going to tell y'all what Jarvis is holding on to. Appreciate that super sticker, Mari. Appreciate that super sticker, Mari. Let me take a quick break and we'll come back. The Shank Rock is the wave of the future. The diagrams that I have up, where did this go wrong at?
Remember, we didn't know this happened to her.
Oh. That's how they figured out she was pregnant.
Around 3 o'clock that morning, I got random text messages and it was just pictures of her and the other little girl. I thought it was strange.
Everybody feels as though Shannon had something to do with it. Drop a 1 in the chat and drop a 1 on the replay game. Drop a 1 if you feel like Shannon had something to do with it. Drop a 2 if you feel like Shannon didn't play no part. Now, in the very beginning on that phone conversation, what did Jarvis say? I don't know what Shannon got going on. That was one of the main things that everybody peeped. Everybody peeped that. What did he mean by that? He said, I don't know what Shannon got going on. And we've went over Shannon's testimony on that witness stand. It's so many, oh man, it's so many lies. It's just so many ups and downs and flipping and flopping that Shannon done on that stand. And I can promise y'all, there's more that we just don't know about. But guess who know about it? Jarvis know about it. Jarvis is sitting on the information that you and I, him and her, Jarvis is sitting on that information that we all want to know. And he's been talking. Now, of course, some people will come forward and say, Shank, so-and-so was locked up with Jarvis. And so-and-so said, Jarvis ain't saying nothing. That's so-and-so. But you got to remember, you got to understand how many people that's locked up with Jarvis. Jarvis ain't going to just open up to anybody. You just don't open up to anybody when you locked up. You might open up to your cellie. It just depends on how tight you on your cellie is. It might be somebody, on the section or on the block that you're on that you grew up with. It might be a family member in there with you that you feel comfortable with talking to. It happens all the time. Things like this happen all the time. When people get locked up, they run their mouth. So many cases have been cracked. So many cases have took a right turn just off of the suspect running their mouth in the jail and somebody coming forward and speaking on the information that that suspect gave them. Jarvis is talking. You really think he in there all that time and he ain't saying nothing? He been locked up all this time. He ain't said nothing to nobody. Jarvis is the man in that jail. Jarvis got lady correctional officers just the same way that the ladies were out on the streets is the same way that the ladies is in that jail with Jarvis. Let me come to my chat, y'all. They need to check behind that old house and go by where they first searched at Naziah necklace is there. So now he got these new charges. He's piling up. He taking it to trial. He ready. Because he knows. Even with the SA charges, still got to find him guilty. But that main charge, that red rum, notice, y'all, notice. Let's just briefly look at the case. Okay? Let's go by what is facts. Kim Worthy mentioned the baby, right? Allegedly, Naziah was pregnant with, and allegedly the father is Jarvis, right? The judge mentioned the baby, right? But as I said before, nobody questioned Jarvis' sister, King's son, auntie, Miss Annette, nor Shannon. Nobody questioned them for when they was on that stand about Naziah being pregnant. Nobody. And to this day, And if y'all can prove to me, send it to my DM on Instagram. My Instagram is Shank Rock. To this day, Jarvis is not being charged with the red rum, Naziah's unborn baby. He's not being charged with manslaughter of the unborn baby of Naziah. And I went and I looked up Michigan's law. They can't charge him with red rum. They can only charge with manslaughter. To this day, Jarvis is not being charged with the death of Naziah's baby. Let me come to the chat. I'm going to try to keep up with y'all, but y'all know if y'all really need me to get to y'all comment or question, just put it in the chat. Can we do a search before the weather get too cold? I have to say it again. Jarvis know he done. Who he willing to bring down with him? Is he a snitch or not? Kim Worthless said that as a fact. Naziah showed me they gave her a chemical, something in a cup. She was forced to drink it. Now, many people have went with that narrative, I believe, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. It's just so much in this case, and I just can't remember everything, and I try to stick to the things that I do remember. But allegedly, they gave was it the chemicals or the pills or something for the abortion? Either way, it wasn't Jarvis. Whatever has been said, whatever has happened, Jarvis is not the name comes up. Shannon name always comes up. Every time. The 3 DNA, my bad. Appreciate the membership, Kenyatta. Appreciate that membership, Kenyatta. I see you, Capricorn, Rhapsody, Alicia, Big Mama. I see y'all. The 3 DNA that the court was trying to figure who they was on Naziah clothes, one of them going to be Shannon. There it is. And that's what I'm saying. You know, so you know when it comes time for trial. Now, here's the thing. Now, will Jarvis take the stand? Now, whether Jarvis take the stand or not, Jarvis is quarterbacking this. So Jarvis is feeding his defense team. You get where I'm coming from. He's feeding his defense team. Now, he might get on the stand and testify, but I promise you, he feeding his defense team some good ish. Jarvis ain't do this by himself. Is all I'm saying. He didn't do it all by himself. Even when it comes to the inappropriate touching, this is how cold this case is. Even when it comes to the inappropriately touching of Naziah, y'all do realize that Annette, Shannon, and I gotta say Marquita, because Marquita knew what type of dude Jarvis was. Marquita knew what was going on. Those 3, definitely, they allowed Jarvis. They allowed Jarvis to be inappropriately touching Naziah. Miss Parker and her riders broke down on transcripts. And even if you didn't hear the transcripts, if you didn't listen to the breakdown of the transcripts, the CPS report that was filed. I see you, PJ. I see everybody in the chat. I'm just trying to stay focused right now. Appreciate the super sticker, Rhapsody. You breaking up, Shank? Okay. I see you, Carla. Red and a freeze. I see you, Goddess. Essie. Did they say for sure that the baby passed away? See, here's the thing, Jay, and everybody else. Here's the thing. We're really not sure. Now, Jarvis knows. And this is what I'm saying. Jarvis, he's talking. Jarvis knows whether or not Naziah was pregnant. Go back to the text messages between them two. Jarvis said, I didn't nut in you. And I know that's going to be sensitive for some people, but we breaking the case down. See, if you pay attention to everything that has been going on in this case, if you pay attention to Jarvis on that phone conversation, I don't know what Shannon got going on. If you pay attention to them text messages, I didn't nut in you. Pay attention. I'm sure we all have been paying attention now. A few more comments, y'all. I always say he needs to do a Nino Brown and talk and take everybody down with him. And see, here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. And I agree with you, Darlene. And just like in New Jack City, right? Even though Nino Brown was the head honcho, but everybody that was in his organization was just as guilty as Nino Brown. What about the movie Paid in Full? Right? With Ace, Mitch, and Rico. Even though Rico was the grimiest one out of them, but Ace and Mitch was just as guilty. And see, that's what we gotta focus on. We gotta stop giving certain people a pass. Like, it's people, believe it or not, I've had people come in my chat that tries to give Annette a pass. I've had people come in my chat that tries to give Shannon a pass. And I believe that it's probably Shannon herself that's trolling me. But how can you give Shannon a pass? How can you give Miss Annette a pass? Those two, you definitely can't give them a pass. You can't. You know, let me grab this one up here. What is Naziah Moms is saying? I hope she not sitting back remaining silent. From word on the street and from what I get, she's out doing her thing. You know, that's the word that I get from her mom. She's out doing her thing. I see you, Ellis, Jordy. I see y'all. He did say that, but she can still get pregnant. And that's true. But it's almost like when we go to those messages, it's almost like, excuse me, y'all, somebody is behind them text messages. And that's something that most of us agree on. And Jarvis knows this. He knows somebody is behind them text messages. Do y'all want to go back over the text messages? Because I know it's a lot of newbies. But do y'all want to go back over those text messages? Jarvis knew somebody is behind these text messages. This is not Naziah. And I still say that text message when allegedly Naziah asked Jarvis, how do you like your females? How do you like your women? Skinny. I'm still putting money on that. That was not Naziah. That was not Naziah. Y'all want to go back over the text messages? I see you, Pee-wee, Connie. I see the chat sent. I'm trying to teach my kids that you're guilty by association. Yes, yes. And in some states, it's called conspiracy. Other states, it's called affiliation. Guilty by association. And plenty of people have went to prison by guilty by association. Plenty of people has lost their lives. You know, so don't think that just because you ain't never been in trouble with the law before, you only giving your homeboy or your homegirl a ride. If they can prove that you knew about the crime that was committed, your ass going to prison. And in some cases, they don't even got to prove that you knew about that crime. If they could link you to knowing about other crimes. She gets no pass from me. Her mom has been silent throughout all. Damn, my bad. Let me pull up the text messages, y'all. Please, y'all, make sure y'all misspell the words. I see you, Pee-wee. I see you, Lenny. I see y'all, PJs. Jarvis always questioned those text messages. Always, Alicia. Always. No, he knew how Shannon operated. Go back through the text. All right, I will. Give me a minute, y'all. I'm going to pull the text messages up. Give me a minute. Question. Shannon and her mom and sister could say with that DNA, she stayed with them, could say yes, they wash her clothes and being around her. That's true. Yeah, Shank, let's go through them texts. I will. No, them text messages is disgusting as you know what. Very disgusting. They are. They are. Some of those, like I said, some of those text messages, and I strongly want to say for a fact that Naziah didn't send all them text messages, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe she did send all the text messages. I just don't believe it. I'm just not buying it. And I'm going to drop the link. If anybody want to join me on the panel, just give me a minute. And you are right. Yes, you are what you associate yourself with. They need to throw Marquita in on the mix. She knows what happened. Pee-wee says real talk. Bring them text messages out, Shank. The RICO law, there you go. I done let the phone fall on my eye trying to hurry up and get to this video. Ouch. Is lady still locked up? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I see you, Tari. I see you, Tari. Breezy. I feel the same about the Diddy. Things you set and watch him do things and said nothing. You are just as guilty. Like in the Diddy, Gene Deal. Gene Deal now, he come out and he say this and he say that, but Gene Deal, you was around, baby oil man. You get where I'm coming from? So now all of a sudden you want to come out. Same way, you know, with other folks. Y'all set, some of them made baby oil man the monster that he is. So they are, but half them messages wasn't Naziah, they was Shannon. I'm so glad you still keeping this case alive, Shank. Yes. Yeah, I'm not going nowhere from this case, y'all. You know, and y'all know at times I be wanting to because I cover a lot of cases, you know, but I just had to catch up on a lot of other cases. So if when y'all get a chance, if I could get y'all to at least check out the cases of these victims who I've been having their loved ones on my panel to interview them. It's sad. These cases are sad and for no justice. That's what hurts the worst. But I ain't going nowhere, y'all. Give me 1 minute, y'all. All right, y'all. Lady going to be in and out of jail because that's that lifestyle she lives. She is not even completely clued into what went on with her daughter. All right, let me grab these text messages, y'all. text messages at? All right, let's start with Shannon, y'all. Let's start with Shannon, and then we're going to get to the breakdown. Let me start with Shannon, y'all.
Okay. Did you did that cause you to experience or feel any type of way? Since January 9th, 2024, have you seen Messiah?
No.
Have you, since January 9th, 2024, have you heard from Messiah?
I'm going to get them text messages.
And it didn't work. So I put the second password in. So the first thing I went to was Instagram, which I was scrolling. And I seen,
Do you know what is that referring to?
it was, Tilla had asked me to contact Jarvis and see.
And accurately represent these two messages.
All right, let's start here.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
And just for record references, I'm showing here what's going to be proposed, People's Exhibit 48. Ms. Harris, those text messages that you just referenced, do you see those on this page?
Yes.
Okay. And so it's fair to say you stated to Mr. Butts, well, first of all, whose phone number is this at the top?
The phone number is my old telephone number.
Okay, and who is the phone number below that?
Jarvis Butts.
Okay. And is this, I guess, do these fairly and accurately represent these two messages? 3, 4, 6 messages sent between you and Mr. Butts on January 9th, 2024 through January 11th, 2024.
The first page is, yes, it's correct. Second page is correct. Yes.
Okay. And so on January 9th, like you had indicated before, you had stated that you told him that there was still no tuna.
Correct.
Okay. And you said he responded, oh, wow.
Correct.
Okay. And on January 11th, was Messiah still missing?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ask Mr. Butts to do something?
At this point, I just asked that if she's going to read from the text.
These not the text messages, but I'm gonna just let it play, and then I'm gonna go to the actual text messages, y'all. All right. Appreciate you for becoming a member, Latoya. Appreciate the super sticker, Big Mama.
This is just the exhibit.
I can't.
issue with moving to admit?
No, Judge.
Okay.
Do these fairly and accurately represent text messages between you and your phone to Jarvis and his phone between, well, they start back earlier, some from December 3rd, 2023 through January 21st of 2024? These fairly and accurately represent text messages between
Yes.
you and your phone to Mr. Butts and his phone?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 48. Objection.
Thank you. Be a minute.
Thank you, Judge.
Let me go to the detective. Give me a minute, y'all. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
There's a reason WGU's RN to be a SN program is the largest in the nation. It's built for working nurses like you.
And I will swear you in again. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Ripley.
Thank you, Judge. And may I share my screen?
Yes.
And we left off with clip 18 from People's Exhibit 29.
Then here you ask her, this is hours why. Can I get my
I'm going to fast forward this, y'all, because it never gives good audio. Appreciate that super chat sent Justice for Naziah. I see you, T-Love. I'm going to fast forward this, y'all. I'm going to fast forward.
And Mr. Butt's vehicle that Escalade was processed,
Yes,
and those items were sent to the lab.
yes,
And that's along with Miss Latricia Johnson's Nissan.
yes.
Okay.
Now, I will say this. I've heard it through the grapevine. The grapevine says that Latricia isn't even Jarvis's baby mother. So keep that in the back of your mind. Do anybody know whether or not Latricia is Jarvis's real baby mother? I've heard it through the grapevine. I've been hearing a lot of things through the grapevine in these past few weeks. So drop a 3 if you've heard that Latricia isn't his baby mother. Okay, Lucretia isn't. Okay, there we go, Miss Parker. Okay. Appreciate that.
Now, I want to talk in your training and experience, having been with police for 24 years. Have you?
My bad. Miss Parker saying she is. Okay. All right. Okay. Where you at, Miss Parker? She's saying she is. Okay. All right.
Seen types of wounds made through clothing?
Yes,
Okay. Now, you saw the black hoodie that was recovered had some holes in the head, in the hood area.
yes,
Okay. Now, are you familiar with what, like either some sort of like sharp object or a gun or something of the sort? Are you familiar with what that would look like through clothing?
And yeah, at this point, I'm going to object. I think the answer would call for her to speculate on what caused these wounds.
I'm not asking her to say what caused the holes.
Call the holes. My
In this
apologies.
specific
Yeah,
case, but in her
correct.
experience.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
you may be objecting after a few questions, but for this one, overruled.
Yeah, so throughout the hundreds of scenes that I've been to, various scenes, whether they may be fatal stabbing, it may be a blunt force trauma, I've responded and processed many gunshot scenes. When there's clothing where a weapon was used, you do see that type of tearing. It could be from a bullet hole, it could be from a knife, it could also be from a struggle or pulling.
Okay. And just to be clear, you don't know how those holes got in the hood of that black hoodie?
Correct.
Okay. But those holes could be, in your experience, consistent with things that you have observed in your training and experience as it relates to struggles, stabs, bullets, things of that sort.
Correct.
Okay. Now, on Mr. Butt's phone, after that January 9th text to Naziah saying okay, was there any other texts to Naziah's number after that date?
From Mr. Butt's phone?
Yes.
No.
Okay. There was no attempts to reach Naziah's number on Mr. Butt's phone?
There was no contact between Mr. Butt's phone and the text now number after that.
Okay. And in your role in this case, did you go through Naziah's kind of social media records and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. And since January 9th, 2024, have you been able to find anything as it relates, anything from Naziah Harris on social media?
No.
Now I'm gonna just stop because I do got a guess. So now, this is to me, this is one of the reasons, and it's just to me, y'all. This is one of the reasons why they're saying that Naziah is unalive. No more social media from Naziah, no nothing. And they're basing it, they're saying, especially a child of her age would not have been off of social media this long. Now, if you are a seasoned vet and you know about social media, you know that you can easily make a troll account. You could easily go under another name. So just because we don't see a social media page of Naziah Harris and we don't see her pictures and things of that nature, that still don't mean that she's not active on social media. Now, this is one of the reasons why they're claiming that she's no longer alive. Now, I just not going by. But let me let my guest Q come in. Slide in, Q. Talk to us, Q.
Hey, Shank. But anyways, the vision that I had of Naziah, I called her name 3 times, and I talked to her just like she was a regular person. I told her to show me what happened to her, and she did. And the vision that I had that she showed me, Shannon was arguing with her. Y'all know the same energy that she gave, what's his name, Mark D, and her cousin, Roxy. The same energy she gave them, but it was more intense. And I seen Marquita standing on the side, like looking at the whole thing. And I basically see Shannon, it was getting intense and intense. And Shannon picked up something. It was like a sharp, heavy object. And she hit Naziah across the head. And Naziah blacked out and fell and never got back up. And once Shannon realized that, she sat there and she panicked. And then she got on the phone, and then it took me out the vision.
Wow. Now, let's stay with the vision. Let's stay with this for just a second.
Okay.
Because for me, I'm not big on the visions, the psychics. I'm not big on it. And I always say, just because I don't believe something, that doesn't mean that it's not true. It's not reality. So just because I don't believe in it, don't mean that it's not true. Help me where I'm going at with this. Help me understand when it comes to the visions. First, let me ask you this:
Okay.
Is the vision, when people have these visions, is it from God? Is it something that you are born with? How do y'all?
I'm not trying to cut you off, but I got my vision from my grandmother, Tawala Docker. That's who I got my visions from. And I also want to share an emotional story because I really never told nobody the story before. But I also had a vision of my sister putting something in the baby bottle before she killed the baby. And I sat there and talked to the daddy. I said, "Where's the baby bottle at?" And he said, "What are you talking about?" He said she got rid of it. I said the evidence was in that baby bottle. And then Spirit told me that one of them was about to die. So I hit him up. I said, "I don't know which one of y'all about to leave here, but one of y'all is about to die because Spirit told me." And his baby mama had spit out her drink. And she said, "What did she say?" I said, "Put me on speakerphone." I said, "Spirit told me that one of them is about to die. I don't know who it is, but one of them is about to die." And my sister killed him 5 weeks later. And the baby mama called me crying and said I was right.
Wow. Wow. Hold that thought. I'm gonna keep you up. Can you hang around with me up here on the panel?
Yeah, I got my phone on the pocket charger because I ran my phone down.
Okay, let you stay up here with me. Let me go back to
I
these
not to
texts.
cut you off. I even contacted Wayne prosecutors to get Shannon locked up.
Wow.
And they said that
Wow.
if they said they can't go by my visions, they said if you willing to take a lie detector test. I say yeah, I'm willing to take one because I'm not lying. I know what that little girl showed me. And Shannon was the one that killed her, not Jarvis. I'm not taking up for him. Like I told them, he's still a pedo and a monster. But it was Shannon that did that.
Wow.
And they said when Jarvis come out and tell it, they'll bring me down there.
Wow. Wow. I got Miss Parker up here too. Miss Parker, give me a second, and I'm gonna come to you, Miss Parker. Give me a second, though. All right. Wow. Wow, y'all.
Now, we have to hear some of these text messages in the interview, but going through them, that's it. We're going to start now.
Under VA's new framework called AMA, if you don't file the claim,
Starting with People's Exhibit 15. These are the messages from 313-379-5882. And do you have a copy with you?
I don't have a copy of that number.
Can you read the messages that were sent from that number to Jarvis Butt's number, or I guess the messages that were captured within People's Exhibit 15? Oh, including the dates and approximate times.
So the first message is September 24th, 2022 at 22:15 hours UTC. She says, "Bald head Janiyah, come here."
And that's to a number that's not Mr. Butts.
Correct.
Okay.
Then the next message is on September 27th, 2022. All of these dates are from 2022. So September 27th at 1:37 a.m. UTC. It is sent to Mr. Butt's phone. "We fitnessing, happy birthday." Immediately after that, at the 17-second mark, again to Mr. Butt's phone, it says, "Come on." On that date, September 27th at 1:52 a.m., another message is sent to Butt's phone asking, "You okay?" September 27, 2022, 1:54 a.m., she sent a message, "Where are we doing it at your choice?" Immediately following that text, a message is received to Naziah, to this text now number, from Mr. Butt's phone that says, "You tell me." 9:27, 1:55 a.m. A message is replied to Jarvis, says basement. 1:56 a.m. A message is sent to Naziah from Mr. Butt's phone that says, "You sure?" At 1:56 a.m., a message is sent to Naziah from Naziah to Mr. Butt saying, "or job." At 1:57 a.m., a message is sent to Naziah from Mr. Butt's phone saying, "Can you suck my dick, please?" The message immediately following that from Mr. Butt's phone to Naziah, and make sure you erase the messages.
Now, these messages to me is definitely Naziah and Jarvis. All right. Let Miss Parker come in. Slide in, Miss Parker.
Hey, salute Shane, salute Q. How you doing? Salute to the Rock Squad and the riders in the chat. I'm not gonna be up for too long. It's about time if he is talking. It's long overdue. It's long overdue. And it it's almost like we getting deeper into this now. You know, as sad as it is, he has another one of his children testifying against him. And I think this the pressure the case needed. On top of all the boots on the ground surrounding her case, I mean, it matters. And boy, did she make the content creators move. Just being honest. Her name did something to content creators that opened up the wave of all these other stories pushing their way through the true crime algorithm. Um, it's 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 sad that the monsters talking versus the others that was in the house. Minus the people that wasn't in the house for a minute. But those that was in the house never seen anything. Was home, wasn't home. All the lies. Never putting it on Jarvis. I'm sticking with that. Never pointing him out. Just there he goes. In this small courtroom, you know, with these children coming far and wide, all ages. And now he wants to talk. See, he been talking. He just been talking subliminally. Like I didn't give him credit. Cause I'm looking just at the predatorial side of him. Versus who is he for real? Cause we know it started with him. But it was a story inside that home too that Naziah came from. It's just the facts. The things that surrounded these children, man, should have never happened on so many people's levels. We got the CPS. We do. It happened. We got these charges that he had prior to that slipped through the cracks. Everything that's making people go, wait, why didn't they and why didn't they? It's so many questions. No answers. And he's talking, it's supposed to be like, nah, it ain't no hand clap. It's a little girl missing. With nobody standing on 10 just saying, this what happened. I lost control. She wouldn't get rid of the child. Whatever it is. It's for her. It's not gonna do nothing for us. But just show us the demonic shit that was behind her for real. And surrounding her. But other than that, Shank, I mean, it's long overdue. Let her push to these other young voices that's finally getting the guts to come forward and tell their story. Because we don't know. It might be somebody that we don't even know was there. We'll never know until we get to this trial. These kids get to face this monster and all they've endured. But it's gonna be other trauma that comes behind it. If Nazaya was still living, she'd be one of them. Just trauma. The autistic guys. So many other, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you surrounded by that, it ain't too much of an exit. And if it is an exit, it's a bad one. Always. So I hope he is talking shame for her for the sake of all the victims, Zaya and her unborn child, because per Kim Worthy, can't nobody take it away that she said they know for a fact Jarvis is the father. This came out of her mouth. You can't take that back. Some of the shit that happened in this preliminary, I'm just gonna say, if you really just sit down for a minute and look at it, it just don't sound right. Nothing. Maybe the sum, but for me, it's to know. It's like it just kind of hurts to read them. It's something you want to read and exploit. It's something you really want to read and be like, dang, like, did anybody care? Minus the kids, did any of these adults care? How many other missing children got the same treatment? So, shout out to you, Shane. This is a good one. Shout out to you, Q. Keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to the chat, okay? Thanks for letting me up, Shane.
Appreciate you, Miss Parker. I'm going to come back to you, Q. Let me come to the text message. Cent Dollars, you got to turn your mic. You got to turn your mic on, Cent, before I can bring you up. Connect your mic and cam, Cent, and then I can bring you up.
Still September 27th, 1:59, UTC. A message is sent to Mr. Bus that says, "Hey, that is what I planned to do." Another message is immediately following that at 2:01 to Mr. Butts. "You turn me on just looking at you," and then there's a bunch of letters, which possibly it's maybe an image that was sent that doesn't capture on the messages. 2:02 a.m. Nazaya sends another message to Jarvis. "What time to be in the basement?" 2:03 a.m. he replies and sends her a message that says, "Go change your clothes and take your panties off." Nazaya replies to Mr. Bus and says the letter K. At 2:10 a.m., so 7 minutes later, a message is sent from Nazaya to Jarvis's phone. "I hear you. What you looking at?" Jarvis replies back immediately to her saying the letter U. At 2:13 a.m. at UTC, still on September 27th, Nazaya sends Jarvis a message that says, "I know, I'm finna sleep good." There's another message directly after that that has a bunch of symbols, so I'm not sure if it was one of those little emojis. 2:14 a.m. she sends to him, "What about you?" The next message she sends to him immediately after, "Sometimes I be wanting to live with you." 2:16 a.m. she sends to him, "You know what I mean."
Now, here's my thing about these messages, y'all. How do Nazaya go from, because remember the CPS report, right? Where Nazaya was in that CPS report that Jarvis was inappropriately touching her, right? There's the CPS report. Now, how do it get to this where as though she's sending him text messages? And I believe that the text message about she wanting to live with him, I believe that that's Naziah. But I'm just trying to figure out, how did it get from this part to that part? I mean, where was Ann at? It's a broken record, y'all. Where was Ann at? Some people say Shank, he manipulated her. And I can believe that. Here you go, goddess. She probably felt helpless after trying to tell, and he definitely sold her a dream. There it is, right there. Can y'all imagine at 12 years old, at 13 years old, that this is what you are faced with? Stockholm syndrome. A lot of girls came out and spoke against the monster, but I'm quite sure there are some boys just wondering if they interviewed them, since they are no longer in the house and not scared to speak out now. Facts. She was right there. So much for running a tight ship. Yeah, she ran a tight ship all right, didn't she, Miss Fluffy? And you know the cold thing about this, the sad thing about this, Annette probably won't get charged with nothing. Annette will still probably be able to run the tight ship that she claims she been running. Because this ain't the first incident. Annette got 40 years of CPS. They hitting it. The family should have been hyper vigilant with Naziah after those accusations. No one cared. I see you, Kay. I see you for life. I see you for life. You know I'm going to mess your name up. I got SA at 15. Sorry that you had to experience that, the great. You know, anytime you want to come on my panel and maybe vent or tell your story, feel free to come up and tell your story. Facts. I'm going to come back to you, Q, right after this. I'm going to come back to you.
2:18 a.m. She sends, what time I'm ready. 2:23 a.m. She sends to Mr. Butts' phone number, we not doing it or what? 2:23 a.m. Naziah sends to Mr. Butts, I really want you. This is still on the same day, September 27th, 2022. This is now 2:23 a.m. UTC time. Mr. Butts replies to Naziah, yes. 2:24 a.m. Naziah sends, pull your car down the street and come back, I'll be waiting. 2:25 a.m. Jarvis's phone replies back to her, come ride with me and Nye, N-I-Y. 2:25 a.m. she replies, did they say I can come? At 2:30 UTC, she sends him a message that says, I'm sorry, but love you. 2:30 UTC, he immediately replies back, come on. 2:31, Naziah replies, I can't, I'm going to get in trouble.
Now, I do believe that these text messages are from Naziah. Now, we're going to get to some text messages that I just don't feel like is Naziah. But these text messages, I believe they are from Naziah. Rhapsody says somebody said they seen Shannon at her daughter basketball game I thought the kids was taken from her. I believe I saw a picture myself, and see, this is what I'm saying when it comes to these children. It's like these children don't stand a chance, y'all. They really don't. Come on in, come on in, Q, and then you come back in. Then you come in, Cent Dollars. Come on in, Q.
Well, like I was saying to answer your question earlier, our gift can be a curse to some people, and then it can be a gift to some people. But the vision that I tell you I seen about Nazari, it was actually a vision, and it's real. And I actually had a vision about my sister baby before she killed it, and I also had a vision about her boyfriend before she killed him, like 5 or 6 weeks later. And another vision that Naziah showed me that she was given something in the cup. It was some type of chemical. I don't know what was in the cup. I just know she was forced to drink it and she didn't want to. And I heard a woman voice. I didn't see no woman this time like I did with Shannon and Marquita. I just heard a woman voice and she was forced to drink it. And I wonder if that why she was balled up on the floor at the school and the counselor paid her no attention and they failed her.
Do having these visions, do it scare you?
I mean, yeah. When my daddy died, it scared me when he came to me and told me why he died because he was supposed to got his leg cut off before the woman even told me why he died. And she asked me, did I know how he died? And I said, yeah. My dad came and told me basically if he would have got his leg cut off because he had gangrene, he would have still been here. And she sat the phone down for 20 minutes because she was speechless. And she said, you gifted, ain't you? I said, yeah, I got it from my grandma. And I actually had to call Rain of Fire. She's another medium, but her gift is a little bit stronger than mine. Because what she saw in Nazai was also hit in the head, but she saw it happen at the shop. And I had to tell her it happened at the shop. Nazai went home that day. It happened at the house, and I told her what I saw. And she broke down, was crying, and said she believed me.
What did she have on? What did Nazaya have on? What did she have on, Nazaya?
I didn't see all that. The only thing it showed me, see, when we get in the vision, it takes us in the vision, it takes us out quickly. The only thing I saw was Shannon arguing with her back and forth. I seen Marquita standing on the side, just looking. And I seen Shannon basically going back and forth with her like a mama would do to a daughter, but then it got intense, like it got intenser. Like the same energy she gave Mark D and Roxy that day in that video when they was questioning her, asking her when the last time she seen her. And Shannon was the last one to see her alive. She took something, it was like a sharp, heavy object, and she busted upside the head with it, and Nazaya fell and blacked out. And she never got back up. And Shannon panicked, like she was about to cry, she panicked. And she grabbed the phone, and then it took me out the vision.
In the vision, did Jarvis drop her off? Did you see Jarvis
I didn't
drop
see that. All Nazaya wanted me to see is what Shannon did to her. That's all she showed me.
Let me let Cent Dollars slide in. Slide in, Cent Dollars.
Oh, shit. How the fuck do you slide in?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I'm like, I was trying to. Okay, so y'all, I just wanted to say something. I'm thinking like from Nazai's perspective because she is no longer or she's not here with us right now to speak on her behalf. But one thing I'm wondering is for everybody to take a step back and just think about if she was here, what questions or what answer or what she may be wondering right now. And as an alive person, I'm trying to think of the fact that if her being sexually groomed and sexually abused for all of who knows how many years, really none of us know how many years, but what do y'all think that in her mind, like, what would she want to know from Annette? What would she want to hear from Shannon and Annette? What would she want to hear from Jarvis as far as why all of the people that she felt should be protecting her didn't say or didn't answer? And it's kind of like it's a deep question because I'm just kind of thinking, I sit back and think like we sometimes, all of us, and especially you, Shank, Miss Parker, to everybody, y'all the voices for these children who don't have a voice anymore, or even if they are still alive, don't know how to verbalize or like kind of say what they want to say or what they may want to say because they're scared, they're hurt, they're traumatized. And so I'm just thinking like, have we ever sat back and just thought about like if Naziah is still alive, how would y'all feel if y'all was in her shoes right now? If Naziah is still alive? That's all I'm saying. That's the question I'm asking. Because we still don't know that she's dead. Or do we?
You
Real
right.
shit.
That's
I'm
facts.
just asking. And
That's
so I'm
facts
trying to
now.
think in my mind, like, as this young girl, as a teenager who has probably been groomed since the age she might have been 8 or 9 years old, at 8 or 9 years old, can most of us even remember what was going on in our lives? And if we can remember, how could we be educated enough to verbalize what we really want to know? I'm taking pauses because it's breaking my heart. You know, every time any of these cases, y'all, Shank, I watch you, Miss Parker, I watch you too. I watch you. All of these cases with these young girls and going through this domestic abuse and this sexual abuse. Have we ever took a step back to just think about like all the questions they may have and how they're able to verbalize what they really want to know, what they really want answers to. And some of it is probably like, y'all, listen, the whole chat, and I know it's millions of people that watch, but like, could you imagine your mom or your dad or your cousin, your mom or your dad, though? Your mom or your dad, and if they sexually abused you, all the crazy stuff that could be running through your mind, and how you how are you supposed to trust anybody after that? And then if you do trust somebody, how can you verbalize the pain that you're still experiencing while trying to go through life? And I only ask that because I still want justice for Naziah, but I've been watching a lot of these other cases that you guys all put out. I promise you I have. And everybody's case is different, but everybody's case is just important. But at the end of the day, Naziah, we still don't know. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's alive. We don't know if she's dead. And if she is alive, could you imagine what Naziah is feeling right now to the whole world? If she's hearing all the content creators that's trying to fight for her and bring justice for her, I get it. I love it. I respect it. But at the end of the day, if that little girl is still out here and alive, she's probably been hearing all of these conversations. You know what I'm saying, y'all? How do y'all how do y'all think she's so scared right now? She's so fucking scared, y'all. If Naziah was alive, I'd have heard people say, well, she might walk in the courtroom. If Naziah was still alive, I don't even know if she would walk in the courtroom right now because she's so fucking scared, y'all. This is a
That's real.
child.
That's real. That's real.
I just wanted to hear y'all take on, we all know how this affects all of us, but at the end of the day, all I wanted to say was like I just wanted to be like, yeah, you guys are definitely a voice for all of these children, but man, there's so many unanswered questions. There's so many what ifs. And I'm mostly focusing on the Zaya case because that's what we're talking about tonight. In a lot of these cases, we found bodies. We found body parts. We found kids in the freezer. We found kids buried outside in leaves. We found all that. But we haven't found one piece of Naziah. Not one ligament. not one arm, not one finger, and I don't want to find that. But this poor baby, man, justice for Naziah. But at the end of the day, I also wanted to say, like, Jarvis right now, he's in a position to where I hate to say it, but his ugly ass, his monstrous ass has so much fucking power. Because if he was a real fucking man, he gonna bring everybody down with him. Because nigga, you doing life regardless. Ain't nothing in the world finna let you see the daylight again. I mean, outside of them walls or outside of that courtroom that y'all so called have rec time in. You know what I'm saying? And then I think about Annette. I think about Shannon. I think about Naziah's mother, Lady, where I actually, and I don't care, y'all eat me up if y'all want to, but I have more compassion for Lady than I have for Annette, Shannon, or anybody else in the fucking family. Because you know why? A Lady was failed too. And guess who she was failed by, everybody? That goddamn Annette. Annette might not get no jail time, but god damn it, her conscience gotta be eating at her, and I mean eating her alive. If y'all don't agree with me, y'all crazy as hell. Because motherfucker, excuse my language. I'm just heated because I got so much passion and love for I want justice for Naziah, but at the end of the day, ain't no following the net around. Ain't no I'm finna stalk y'all. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that gonna make no difference at this point. We gotta let their conscience eat them alive. But y'all think about what I said, because like, how in the world do y'all, if Naziah was really living, watching all of these testimonies and all of these people who got her back, all of these people who got all the love in the world for her, how? How? That little girl was failed in so many ways, y'all. So many ways. And it just breaks my heart. I'm just sorry, y'all. I'm gonna step down. I had to say it, but like, I cry every time we talk about Naziah, because there's a lot of other girls out here who, and what is justice? What is
Mm,
justice? Let me ask that
mm.
question. What is justice? Because at the end of the day, we say what? Somebody got found guilty and they got sentenced to life, and they're gonna do the rest of their life in prison for some of the same things that happened to Naziah. Is that justice?
Mm,
Hmm. Y'all let me
mm.
know. I'm stepping down, Shane.
You put something on us, and we needed that. You really put something on us.
Oh. I'm trying to pull out. That's just I ain't pulled out because I really want to hear. You know, that's heartfelt. That's deep. I cry tears every night when I go to bed. You know, I'm listening. I'm hmm.
Let me come to the chat, y'all. Let me come to the chat.
Yes, sir.
It's sad.
I'm gonna stay up here for a little minute. I just feel like, and not I don't want to. Ain't no arguing, ain't no beefing. And y'all been
No,
watching, like, I've been watching a
you,
lot of different cases. Y'all been watching the Julio, everybody. It's so much going on in the world. I
you,
just had an
you.
accident 10 minutes away. You know, where 5 people died in a head-on collision from, man. Listen, when I say life is real, but look, I'm just telling y'all, justice for these babies is something that it sinks so deep in my heart. I can't even speak on it, Shane. It's just I
Stay,
can't speak
stay,
on it.
stay right there, Sent. Don't you go nowhere. You stay right there. Justice comes in the form of lasting awareness. I ain't no justice. Where you at, Sent? Okay. Come back up. You
Um,
can come back up, Q. The full life. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Hold tight, y'all. As a survivor, there is no answers anymore can give that will ever take away the pain or make it better. And I'm sorry of your experience as well, T Love. I'm sorry if any of you ladies and gentlemen that may have experienced, such trauma, it's hard. It's hard because it's like the people that hurt you is the ones that you look up to. Like, it ain't right.
It,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
always the ones, Shank. Let me tell you something. It's always the ones closest to us. It's the ones that we're supposed to be able to call on. It's the ones we supposed to be able to trust. It's the ones we supposed to be able to say, man, I know you got my back. I know you got
Mm,
my best interest at heart. And guess
mm.
what? When you get screwed by those people, your dad, your uncles, your cousins, how do you ever? Where's justice? How can you ever? uh, uh, What is justice in those situations?
Yeah, I understand
And
where
if
you coming
Naziah was
from.
out here, how the hell do y'all expect her to feel comfortable enough to speak up for herself without being scared of the whole world around her because everybody around her fucking failed her? And there's still justice for Naziah and every other girl or boy out here that has experienced any of that. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, Shank. Ain't no way. Shank, put yourself in the shoes of an uncle, a daddy, a male role model, a figure that females look up to because I know a lot of us do, and I ain't the only one. And I don't give a fuck if we met yesterday or we met 10 years ago. The number that you have behind a friendship or a relationship doesn't amount to respect or love. You feel me? I could have met somebody yesterday that loved me more than somebody that knew me for 20 years of my life. And I feel like that's the pain that Zaya was going through. And it breaks my heart because this is every day, all day. This ain't just Naziah. Yes, Naziah is a big fucking deal, but this is across the world. There's so many kids that's going through the same stuff as Naziah that don't feel like they have a voice. They don't feel like nobody's listening to them. Do y'all remember? If y'all go back through all the transcripts, who cares? If y'all go back through all the court testimony, who cares? That little girl was hurting, and she was hurting for a lot longer than we ever probably imagined. And she had nobody, nobody that was really on her side. That's heartbreaking, y'all. That's the
No,
nation we living in. Amidst of everybody who can't feed their kids right now because SNAP benefits was cut. We got a president in office who don't want to feed our children. Come on, y'all. If anybody got to stand up, it's the time for all of us right now to come together. So when I hear about these Julio Folio cases, I hate to be disrespectful, but the name isn't it's in the pudding. Fool, fools. We all fools if we still fighting each other. Why the hell we can't come together right now, y'all? And I'm speaking to everybody. And I'm sorry, Shank, but your panel is the
Get
freest
it
one
out.
to just let it out.
Get it
And I don't
out.
play no
Get
games
it
when
out.
it comes to kids or when it comes to sexual abuse or domestic violence or people starving. Because I feed people every day. I go to food pantries. I do it all. Cause I want to make sure I can do my best. At the end of the day, when I go to sleep at night, I can lay my head down and say, God damn it, I made a difference. And that's where I want everybody else to get to. Let's stop fighting each other. Let's stop taking up for wrong. Wrong is wrong and right is right, y'all. If it's a baby in harm's way, speak up, say something. That shit ain't no secret. I don't care if it's your niece or your nephew. You better tell somebody, and you better tell somebody who can do something. These babies out here need a voice, and they need a voice when they alive, not when they dead or they gone or they missing. Because by then it might be too late. For a perfect example, in the Naziah case, we ain't found her yet. We ain't seen a goddamn ligament, y'all. Why can't we help each other while we still breathing and still alive instead of trying to break each other down? I'm shaking right here, y'all, because I'm passionate about my people. And I'm sorry. I'm not racist. I'm not no discriminant. I don't care about the color of your skin, but what I do care about is the color of our skin the most. Because we deserve better than we've been getting for the last 7 million years. And we also deserve better than we've been getting for the last 5 years, y'all. Come on, y'all. If we don't start doing better for ourselves and each other, who the hell gonna do better for us? They don't care about us. Why the fuck you think they if it wasn't for Shank and Miss Parker, Toot and everybody, Shanisha Speaks, I love you, and Anna B, there's a whole lot of content creators out here. If it wasn't for them, who would care about our people? Y'all tell me. I'm waiting. I'm listening.
Nobody.
Can I get everybody to throw up some prayer hands for Shantae? She just got out of the hospital. She had a heart attack. Can I get everybody to throw up some prayer hands for Shantae? Also, Sean and the great and everybody else. It's sad, because sad. I'm going to go to a little bit more of these text messages, y'all, and then we're going to regroup tomorrow. We'll come back tomorrow. Q and Scent, y'all stay up here with me.
The next message is at 2:35. Pull your car down the street and I'll come in the base. I'll be waiting. Then immediately after that, she sends basement, please. Jarvis replies, okay. At 2:40, Jarvis replies, you in the basement yet? Immediately after that, Nazai replies back, yeah. Now we are the next day being, it's now September 28th, 2:28 a.m. UTC. She sends Jarvis a message that says, are we doing it tonight? I'm ready, fresh out the shower. The next message is a reply from him to her. Well, this is September 30th now at 1:25 a.m. UTC. He replies, yo. September 30th, 2:59, she replies, you coming over? She then sends another message directly after that, don't have school. At 3:07, a reply is received to Naziah from Jarvis saying, yep. She then replies, Kay, we'll be waiting. At 3:17 a.m., he sends another message, she sends a message to Jarvis that says, text me when you get here. At 3:21 a.m., this is still September 30th date, Jarvis replies and sends a message to her saying, outside. Now we have skipped to September 30th, but it is now on here at 23:13 hours UTC.
Can I get everybody to throw up some prayer hands for Debbie also?
She sends a message to Jarvis saying, hey boo, you coming over? The next message is now October 1st, 2022, 1:51 UTC. She sends a message to Jarvis asking, you coming?
And are there any other messages to Jarvis after that? Mr. Butt's phone?
No.
Okay. And now, do those indicate whether or not they were deleted?
Yes.
Okay. And How many of those were deleted? Or how many of them were not deleted is a better question.
Looks like all of them were deleted except for the one where she was, at the very beginning, she had actually texted somebody else, which I believe might have been Shannon's phone at the time, saying, Baldhead Janiyah, come here. But all the messages between the 8719, which is Jarvis's number, are marked on here as deleted except, let's see. On September 30th, the hey boo, you coming over, and the you coming text, those ones were not deleted and still show on here.
Okay, so those last two.
Yes.
Now, going through people's Exhibit 16 messages, as it relates to the 231-743-3137. Oh, I'm sorry, before that, without telling us Nisai's actual birthday, in September 24th, 2022, what age had Nisai just turned?
In 22?
Yes.
She would have just turned 12.
Now, do you have a set of these, the messages from the 231 number?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to go through those. And there are sections that are highlighted, and I want to follow along. What is the first message that is sent?
It is sent on March 4th, 2023 at 23:35 UTC. It's sent to Jarvis's 8719 number, and it says, it's me, Nisaiah.
Okay. And just for clarification purposes, all the messages within this exhibit are sent to Jarvis's 8719 number?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to jump to March 16th of 2023. There's a highlighted message there. Can you read that one?
Yes. So just before that, the UTC time on here, just so I'm not having to math throughout, from March 10th to November 3rd, it would be -4 hours. So any date that falls within those days would be -4. Any dates outside of those ranges would be -5 hours.
And you said that's
But I'm
March-
going to read it off of here with the time is stamped and dates.
Okay, you said that's March 10th through November
3rd,
Okay, that's -4 UTC.
-4, yes.
Okay. So continue with that.
Yep, so March 16th, 2023 at 0006 hours, she receives a message from Jarvis that says, stop messing with people and just be mine.
And was that deleted?
No.
Now, moving on to May 3rd, 2023. There's a set of highlighted messages. Can you read those?
Yeah, so these messages are May 3rd, 2023, starting at 15:06. Jarvis sends a message that says, I'm coming to get you. Immediately after, Nisaiah replies, what you mean? Jarvis then replies to her, you heard me. Immediately after that, Nisaiah replies to Jarvis, you can't do that. Then sends another message immediately after, which is now still 15:07 hours, that says, I'm finna go to lunch, love you.
And were any of those messages deleted?
No.
Now, I can believe that these messages are from Nisaiah. All right. Appreciate this super chat, son. Just passing through, sending prayers and hugs. I can believe that these are from Nisaiah. All right. I'm not going to hold y'all that much longer. I ain't forgot y'all Q and sent
moving to May 30th of 2023.
May 30th, 2023 at 13:01 hours. She sends a message to Jarvis that says, I miss you. At 13:02 hours, he replies back, the letters IMU, and then the number 2.
And were either of those deleted?
No.
And what about starting with May 31st of 2023?
May 31st, 2023, this is at 13:37 hours. He sends her a message that says, I can't stop thinking about you either. The next message then goes and starts is now June 5th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m., well, 11:59 UTC. She sends a message to Jarvis, hey, you may think I'm ignoring you, but I'm not, my phone broke. At 12 o'clock, another message is sent, so I will text you off this number. At 12:01, same date, she sends him a message, are you mad at me? At 12:01, he replies back to her, yes. At 12:02, she replies back the letter Y. At 12:03, she sends, please don't be mad. At 12:04, she sends, can you tell me why you mad at me, yes or no? At 12:05, he replies to her saying, I haven't seen or talked to you.
Okay, now there's, well, first, were any of those deleted?
No.
Okay, now I want to actually go to one that I did not highlight. 12:08, June 5th, 12:08 and 28 UTC through June 5th, 12:08 and 49 UTC. Can you read those?
Those three?
Yes.
Okay, so June 5th, 2023, 12:08, 28 seconds. He sends her a message with the letters WYA. At 12:08, 35 seconds, she replies, school. 12:08, 49, he sends her a message that says, I'm at your house.
And now, I want to go, actually, can you keep reading through June 5th at 12:09? Oh. $12:09 and 4 seconds.
So the next, so just one more message down?
Yeah, just keep reading it.
Okay. 12:08, June 5th, he had sent to her, I'm at your house. At 12:09 and 4 seconds, she says, damn, we was just. Then immediately after that is another text that says, there. Then at 12:11, she sends him, you bet not be in my room. At 12:12, she sends, I need another phone. At 12:13, she sends, I miss you. At 12:14, he sends her a message that says, I stole your panties.
We're going to have to do a part 2, y'all. We're going to have to do a part 2. But up until now, I do believe that these messages are definitely from Naziah. But it's sad that, as Sent and the rest of us has been saying, that this was her reality at 12 years old, 13 years old. And like Sent said, if she appeared to us right now, what would we have to say to her? And if she's alive and she's watching how hard everybody is fighting for her, I'm sure that at least one thought will come to her mind to be like, damn, all these strangers that didn't know me is fighting like hell for me when certain members of my family, my grandmother and my aunt, refused to fight for me. They refused to fight for her. It wasn't nothing stopping them from fighting for Naziah. They just refused. They just didn't care about Naziah. Any
Real
last
talk,
words?
Shank. Man,
Co-
I'm so
Any?
hurt. I'm so hurt. It's just
Let,
real
let,
talk when you say that because I just think about the drama and bullshit that's been brought up when even two go went to do her birthday and do the balloon release. We really sitting around here making lives and going on days about man about nonsense. That's I'm gonna just leave it there. I don't gotta bring up nobody's names or nothing. But how does that even happen when we have a child who can't speak for themselves right now, who can't really tell their story? That's the, and I guarantee you, whether dead or alive, y'all, Naziah still definitely deserves and needs everything that the content creators are doing for her. You know, she wasn't, that little girl didn't know about love. She was never loved. That man straight had a hold on her and is sick. It's sick and nasty. It's twisted as it is, y'all. He had a hold on that little girl because yes, Shank, I definitely agree with every text message that we just heard in this little small portion, which is not even nowhere near all the text messages that were sent. We're hearing a little girl that is looking for love. A girl, y'all. I don't care. She's 13. So what? Ain't no such thing. I look, Shank. No disrespect, but I done seen posts in lives and stuff of what's fast, what's grown. None of that. That's irrelevant right now because this little girl is crying out. She trying to. If she ain't speaking us to from speaking to us from life right now, y'all. She's speaking to us from the dead. She she's saying don't let this happen to don't let this go on no more. She's still Jania's still alive. Brooklyn's still alive. We gotta stop this. It's nasty. It's sickening. It's corrupt. And I'm not saying, hey, no disrespect to none of y'all content creators because the ones that I listen to and I really follow and watch, I might not be able to be in every live because I got a life and I got kids and I work and and most of us do. But at the end of the day, when we can catch y'all, I'm the type of person when I can catch y'all, Shank, I'm listening to every word, every detail, but I'm also playing over in my mind like these kids ain't got none of they need us. They need us. They need us. They need us more than ever. She been crying out for years and nobody listened. Nobody. Can y'all imagine growing up without a mama that's really involved in your life as a female? As a female, let me tell y'all something. We always talk about uh little girls being daddy's girls. That's okay. That's all cool. That's fine, Shank. I get it and I respect that. But little girls need their mama. Little girls need their mama because their mama is going to be the one to show them how to grow up and be a lady. How to grow up and this is what you don't take from men. This is what when men come into your life and they start talking to you a certain kind of way and they start telling you these certain kind of things, this is what you got to be mindful of. This is what you got to watch out for. You know what I'm saying? Cuz a man at any point in time gonna be able to take advantage of a little girl physically if they want to. And when I say when we speak about physically, y'all, it's not just about a man can punch us in the face and give us a black eye. Physically also includes sexually because to abuse someone sexually, you're still abusing them physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You breaking down their mind and their body and their soul. Ain't no way that a little girl don't need her mama just as much as she need her daddy. Ain't no way a little boy don't need his mama just as much as he need his daddy. This is a fucking crisis, y'all. This is a epidemic. This ain't no we just sexual abuse is sexual abuse. Abuse is abuse. And 9 times out of 10, if somebody is getting abused, y'all, they're being abused mentally, physically, emotionally, verbally, spiritually. You gotta lump it all in one. Because when that person is able to overcome, all of that trauma still got to be worked through. And you can't just work through physical abuse without working through sexual abuse, without working through verbal abuse, without working through mental abuse. It breaks my
That's
heart, y'all.
facts.
It breaks me down.
That's facts. We're going to have to chop it up on a part 2. Any last words, $100? Any last words
I'm
before we get out of here?
I'm good for tonight, but it still goes on. And if any of y'all is human beings, you ain't gonna go to sleep tonight without saying a prayer for all these babies. I'm talking about Kodak. I'm talking about Shanquilla. I'm talking about Zanai. Yep. I'm talking about Naziah. I'm talking about some people y'all haven't even talked about. I don't. There's a lot of cases out here. We can't never cover all of them, but we gotta pray and we gotta cover all these babies. Jamira, like she got attacked by the pit bull with the crazy mama. Look, y'all, it's so many cases going on right now. It's really hard to keep up with all of them. And I try. And the reason sometimes, y'all, I'm speaking for myself now. But the reason sometimes it's hard is because there's so many cases going on. You can't even catch all the lives because sometimes all of y'all go live and it be different content creators at the same time. And I'm just like, look, you got to go back and catch the replay, but you still love all the babies. My heart never changes for all the babies who need justice out here. And there's so many of them. Bodies we finding behind garbage cans, in ditches, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, attacked by pit bulls, killed, babysitters out here. Everybody. If you got a child, love on your child. Nobody's gonna protect your child like you do. Nobody. Give your child love and make sure they're around people who are going to do the same. Period. I'm done, Shank, for now.
All right. Appreciate you. I'll see you on part 2. Any last words before we get out of here, Q?
Yeah, I want to say something to Shannon, and I want to say something to Marquita. Shannon, I seen what you did. I don't know if you're going to come across this video, but you need to turn yourself in because I already know the truth. And what's done in the dark always come to the light. You need to go ahead and turn yourself in because I seen what you did to your niece and you had no business doing that because at the end of the day, you knew Jarvis was a monster. You knew his past and you accepted that. And all that baby wanted was love. And Marquita, I know that's your sister. I know y'all bonded, y'all tight, but you need to do the right thing and talk to your sister. Tell your sister to turn herself in. Because when Jarvis get offered that plea deal, Jarvis is going to tell it. And he's no longer going to take up for Shannon. And that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Appreciate you, Q. I'll see you on part 2. Appreciate everybody for pulling up. Part 2 will be tomorrow at 12 p.m. or either 10 p.m. I'm going to be releasing some of these messages that I've gotten from a couple people that is locked up with Jarvis. So make sure y'all tune in to part 2. I'll leave the chat running and you all can hang around. Salute everybody.
And now, were any of those messages deleted?
No.
Now I want to go to June 16th. There's some highlighted messages there.
June 16, 2023, at 2:50 a.m. and 25 seconds, she sends to Jarvis, "Didn't I make you come faster than ever?" On June 17, at 8:59 and 06 seconds, she sends to Jarvis, "I'm sorry for making you mad, but do you ever think how I feel knowing that I can't have you to myself?"